Okay, so this video is about identifying or working out the gradient and y-intercept from the equation of a line. Okay, so remember the equation of a straight line, the gradient intercept form of the equation of a straight line is y equals mx plus c. All right, where this is the gradient, so the number attached to x is the gradient, and the number that's on its own, the constant, is the y-intercept. Yeah. Okay, so this number here is the y-intercept, and this number attached to x is the gradient of the line. Okay, so for this example, it just says what are the gradient and y-intercept of each line below. So, okay. So going to the first one, what's the gradient of this line? Well, you look for the term which has x in it, and whatever number is attached to that x, that's your gradient. Okay, so the gradient in this case is 2. For the y-intercept, you go for the number that's on its own. It's just a constant. Okay, so it's a number, and in this case it's -7. Okay, so that's it. It's that simple. Next one. Okay, gradient and y-intercept of this line. Okay, so over here, for the gradient, you go for the term that's got x in it, and it's the number attached to x. In this case, it's -3. So remember, the sign belongs with the number that comes after it if you're going left to right. And the y-intercept, well, 4 is on its own. It's not attached to x, yeah? So the y-intercept is 4. This one, so the gradient here, okay, so which number is attached to x? You might want to pause the video and just think. So this is made up of x on 2. Okay. Now that is the same as 1 on 2x. Yeah. Which means the gradient is a half. And the y-intercept is obviously just 2. Okay, because 2 is not attached to x. Okay, so this one here, we've got an equation that's not, this does not look like y equals mx plus c. So we have to first make it look like this, okay? Then we can work out the gradient and the y-intercept. All right, so my purpose is to have y on the left, so that means I need to get rid of 3x. So again, you can have a go, you can pause the video and have a go at this yourself, and then you can check the answer. Okay, so I need to have everything on the right and y on the left of this equal sign. Okay, so that means I've got to get rid of the 3x. Well, right now it's positive 3x, so you go minus 3x, yeah? And minus 3x on this side, which then becomes 4y equals 2 minus 3x, or minus 3x plus 2, same thing. The next step, I need to get rid of the 4. Well, it's 4 times y, yeah? So then, okay, divide by 4 and divide everything on this side by 4. Which means that becomes y, and this here becomes 2 on 4 minus 3x on 4. Okay, you've got to divide everything on the right and everything on the left by the same number 4 in order to get rid of this one, this 4 here. So then, okay, let's simplify this a little bit more. So this then gives us y equals, well, 2 on 4 is a half, isn't it? Okay, minus 3 3x on 4 or 3 on 4x. Okay, that's similar to our example up here. So which means the gradient is this. So I've run out of space, so I'm just going to write m for gradient because that's the equation, all right? Y equals mx plus c, remember? So m is minus 3 on 4, and c, the constant, is a half. Okay, so if you have an equation that's not in the form y equals mx plus c, rearrange it so that it is in this form. I mean, in this case, okay, we've got c beforehand, before mx, but it doesn't matter. It's still, the gradient is still the number attached to x, and the constant is still the number that's on its own, which is the y-intercept. Now we will look at the significance of the y-intercept and the gradient in the next lesson.